Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful Ponytown news update video. Today we have ourselves version 0.116.0. It's time for Halloween. That's right, the spooky Halloween event has finally been activated. There are now 29 new toys to unlock, the leaderboard is now active, and there is a ton of new placeables, and the map is all spookified and everything. It is a wonderful time here, but there is also some other small changes and everything else, and of course we're going to go over it in today's video. So of course, let's start with it's Halloween. They enabled the collection Halloween event. There's 29 new Halloween toys. They're all bugs, by the way. They added a Halloween feast area on the main map. This is a pretty lovely little area. They added some new spooky forest sit spots around the map, so there's new areas to sit around and hang out at, of course. They added Halloween decorations to the main map and the library. It's weird, but for some reason they say they overhauled the cave map later in the changelog, but basically they just kind of added decorations to it as well. I don't know why they worded it that way, kind of weird. But either way, they added new spooky item placeables, which we'll go over here in a moment. They added brown variants of the tree columns, which is a cool addition, something I've kind of been waiting for a while. They added the ability to refresh names of linked Steam socials, so if you change your Steam name or whatever, you can refresh that very easily. They added highlighting messages in chat log when another player is selected in game, whenever you click or tap their player name in the changelog, or whenever you click or tap your own name in the changelog. They also added the indication to chat log button when having chat bubbles disabled. This is a fun one because I literally made a video about this like literally not too long ago. It was in my wish list video of like things that would be kind of easy to add. I think it was the first one, and as I said in that video, it would possibly come in the very next update, and look at that, it came in the very next update because of how easy and realistic it was to implement. They also added a message length limit indicator, so if you're about to reach the limit, a number will start appearing in the bottom right corner, and I will show that off in a moment as well. They added the ability to type message past the message length limit. Kind of weird, to be honest with you. I don't know why it doesn't just stop you. But anyway, they overhauled the cave map with new Halloween decorations. Again, I don't know why it says they overhauled the cave map when they could just say they decorated the cave. Very strange. They replaced the use base color button with the lock to base color toggle for pony and pony plush tails. So if you're adjusting your tail or the plushies and stuff like that, it's going to show lock to base color instead of use base color. It just does the same thing that use base color used to do, but it says locked instead. They renamed the chat log settings to Chatbox. They improved animation of tree spiders, so that should look slightly different now. Maybe they're no longer disconnected. They improved the eyeshadow to have outlines, which means if you have eyeshadows on your characters right now, they may have been slightly altered because of this update, because they improved the eyeshadow to have outlines. They improved click to look with numpad to work even when numlock is enabled, or disabled or whatever. So if you have numlock enabled or disabled, you should still be able to look with your eyeballs in any direction using the numpad. They improved preview changes of chat log opacity and chat log scaling options. They improved chat input background color to be affected by Chatbox background opacity settings. They improved UI behavior when selecting a game server with a long name. They fixed pony magic displaying incorrectly in some cases. They fixed light shining through players when standing in shadow or behind cover in some cases. They also fixed light shining through self when standing in shadows or behind covers. They fixed using wrong key bindings for actions with some keyboard layouts. They fixed modules getting closed when getting reconnected. They fixed selecting own name in chat log after rejoining, showing player card in some cases. Fixed showing system messages as selected in the chat log, and of course some map errors. So that's all the changes. Boom, let's go into the game right now and look at all these new items. Look, here's even the new spider. Look at him go. He's just kind of vibing there. There is a lot of new spooky trees. These are all placeable right now on your party island. So we have some stumps and all kinds of spooky trees here. Look at all these. Now all of these can be rotated. For some reason, some of them can only be rotated if you do specifically the weird dumb variant thing. So for example, the small spooky tree, I can rotate this, but I have to hit escape a billion times in order to get it to appear, or I can just switch back and forth until I ultimately get it, or I can click on it and then eventually it'll rotate. Again, a very dumb decision in my opinion, and I will always be very vocal about this. For the rotation versus the random variant makes no sense. I think the thought process behind it is if there is a very noticeable change in the rotation, then it should be rotatable. If it's not a huge change or something like that, then it shouldn't be rotatable. It should be a random variant or something. I don't understand it, but most of these trees have rotation, like this one. Again, like, yeah, I want to rotate that, but I also want to rotate this sometimes. So why is it a random variant? I really don't know why. But yes, technically all of these are rotatable, but some of them you'll have to do the weird dumb pressing buttons to make it random. Anyway, we have this one right here. I really like this one. I think this could be improved, though, in my opinion. I'm not a super big fan of the eyes or whatever this is. In my opinion, it kind of just looks like they forgot to color in those, like, 4 pixels or whatever it is. I don't know. I think it could be fixed a little bit better. Maybe have it blink. Maybe just have it be the eyes that are in the trees on the main map or something. I really don't know why they decided to do 2 dashes there. But anyway, we have some candle versions, some that are always lit, like this one down here, some that are only lit at night, and then, of course, some that are never lit. Of course, we have the web with the spider, and then, of course, the bones. Munch, crunch, the bones. And, of course, we can change the color of this spooky lantern here to be anything we want, but that is a lovely little thing as well. And of course, we have this one right here. It's called a spooky tree with rags, which is kind of funny to think about because we all know that that's actually toilet paper, right? We all know that's what that is, but it's called rags instead. I don't know why they called it that. I guess it may just be easier to put in the thing. Anyway, the vines. These vines are awesome. I really love these vines. This is probably my favorite part of the items, in my opinion. I love them. They're awesome. If I switch to a flying character, there's like a weird thing where like some of them you can fly over and some of them you can't right here. So I can fly over some parts of this, but not all the parts. I kind of like that, but at the same time, I feel like this is going to be very frustrating for some players because it's going to be like, oh, where can I fly over it and stuff like that. But we have 5 new vines here. There's technically like a 6th one. If you read the changelog that says that there is a 6th one, this is actually a typo. There is not a 6th one. Yeah, there's this one. This, again, I don't know why they decided to just... I guess it makes sense because this one's kind of close to the same thing as this. But yeah, this large spooky vine has a random variant that will either have this weird tail thing on the end of it or not. That's kind of how the error occurred in the changelog. This is technically your 6th one, but it got merged with this one at the last minute, and so the changelog is inaccurate for that reason. So don't freak out if you can't find your 6th spooky vine. There's technically not a 6th spooky vine. But that being said, oh, by the way, here are the brown tree columns. You probably recognize them as these. They can become brown now, guys. That's insane. I can't believe it. I'm very excited for this because this is one of those things of like, people love to make trees out of these, but we've been stuck with birch trees basically because they're white. So we've been stuck with the white trees, but now we can make like normal looking trees with these tree columns. So that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what we do with that. I'm also very excited about all these items too, because there's a chance that stuff like these vines will have a winter variant or a summer variant or something like that. If they do, I think it would be really awesome to have like flowers on them for like spring or something like that. There's definitely a lot they can do with these vines, and I'm very excited to see what they do with them in the future, if they ever do anything with them in the future. But that being said, let's go ahead and get to the main island and kind of show off some of the spots there, as well as the candy collection event and how that works. In the meantime, while we go there, we can also check out some of the changelog features that allow me to kind of select a player, and it will highlight their chat. So if we come over here, find someone that's chatting right here. I'm in local, but it's not... There we go. Starberry Swirl. If I click on them, not only does their player card appear in the top left, but now every single time that person says something, it will be highlighted here in chat. If I want to change the color of that, I can just go to the settings up here, and then go to Chatbox, and then highlight message color. I can make that really red if I want to. And now every single time Starberry Swirl says something, it is obviously highlighted in chat, and I can switch this to be any player I want to. I can even make it myself. So if I say subscribe like this or something like that, I can then click on myself, and now every single time I say something like ha 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 ha, it will also be highlighted in chat. This is awesome. This is a very nice quality of life feature kind of thing here, because it just makes it a lot easier to see who's talking. So if you're talking to a handful of very specific people, it'll be a lot easier to actually find those people and what exactly they're saying. Now, if I press F2 on my keyboard, again, all the chat box stuff is disabled, so chat bubbles won't appear above people's heads, and there is now an indication in the bottom left that shows that all bubbles are disabled. So that is why I'm not seeing chat messages. This is obviously a very awesome feature, and it works, of course, with the disabled public chat messages with 3. It just changes it to a slightly different color, and of course, I can just toggle that back to enable all, and it goes back to normal. And of course, our chat box, it just works anyway, even if we have these, so they didn't really change that. It just makes it to where they don't appear above players' heads, which can be very handy if you're recording or doing something like that and you don't want people's messages to appear on screen or something. But that is kind of some awesome changes there. And of course, like I said at the beginning, we have candy. Look at all this candy spawning around everywhere. Let's go get ourselves a bucket. There are many places around the map where you can find some. Sometimes you can find these ghosts and you can just steal one from them, and he will even tell you to go collect some candies. Of course, after you do that, you just click on some of these and you'll get a random counter up. Your counter will go up and you can go find some candies. Eventually, you will unlock a new toy. I believe it will even tell you it's a new toy. I don't actually remember. It's been too long. Yeah, see, I've unlocked 94 of 122 Halloween toys. I got this weird bug looking thing. Very strange looking. But of course, this is a way for you to unlock all the toys and get yourself new things, new accessories, essentially. That's kind of what they are. That is the changes. Of course, as you go around the map, you will find all kinds of new map decorations. Like, look, here's one of those spooky trees over here. And if we keep going over here, of course, the library is going to be different as well. Let's go ahead and hop into the library for a moment and kind of show off some of the things in there. It's going to be kind of difficult to see at first, but if we come over here to the right side of the map, you should see something very absurd, which is this ritual here that people are already taking advantage of. Let's go ahead and hide this player for 15 minutes so that I can show this off a little bit better. As you can see, they just straight up have a ritual in here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm not sure what happened, but there's usually supposed to be a book there. But yeah, there's a book there now, some bones and some candles and stuff. They just straight up did a ritual, like, officially in Ponytown. Very, very strange. I never really expected something like that ever happening, but it did happen somehow. And we got some library voids in here. There's some other spooky stuff in the library too, like we have some bones over here now, and some spider webs down here, and all kinds of stuff like that. There is some spookiness going on in the library. Maybe not as spooky as the main map or anything, but definitely some spookiness is happening. And of course, if we go to the cave, we'll find even more spooky stuff. And on the way, we'll actually find some of the new hangout spots. Again, utilizing the vines and stuff. Very nice. But yeah, let's go ahead and... This area is just... They just did a really good job with this area in general. Like right outside with all the spooky trees right here. It really helps with the cave. Yeah, as we come in here, you'll see that it's like... I don't know why they say overhauled the cave map. I guess because they did more features in it than anywhere else in terms of decorating, and so they just said it was overhauled. But it's just like we got some vines here, some balloons, and some jack-o'-lanterns and such. Honestly, it's pretty nice, actually. I really like this little area with all the vines growing in and out of the barrels and stuff. The vines are trying to kill the apples, because even the vines know that apples are awful. Yeah, we have all kinds of vines going on in here. If we just zoom out to show the whole thing, you can see pretty much the general gist of it is like it's the caves. It's the same layout. It's just more decorated. I kind of like some of the areas, and some of the areas are just like I wish they had more time to do stuff to it, or expand it, or do something more interesting with the caves. Because honestly, in my opinion, this was the perfect chance for them to actually do something really awesome with the caves. They should have just went ahead, since they were quote-unquote overhauling the caves, they should have went in here and expanded the caves, kind of readjusted stuff, maybe even just redid everything, basically. Cleared it off, gave this more opening, maybe made it look like more of a mine or something. I mean, because if we're being honest with ourselves, it kind of just looks like they tried to mine into the wall and then they immediately ran into a cave and were like, well, I guess we can work around the cave, and so they just started working around the cave rather than actually mining anything, because mines don't look like this. They don't look like a big cave like this. So, in my opinion, this could have been an awesome chance for them to finally do something about the caves, especially since they wanted to, quote-unquote, overhaul the caves. Again, very strange in the changelog like that, but either way, the caves look the same as they always did, except kind of awesome because of the decorations and such, but still... I can't help but wonder what could have been if they finally decided to actually update the caves rather than just do this. Halloween is the perfect chance to do that kind of thing. Oh yes, the indicator for when you are typing and how long you have left. So if we just type in a big thing like this, eventually I should see a number appear. As you can see there, it is a number there. It says 6, which is how many more of these I can do. And then I am at 0. I can send this message and it will go through. But if I start adding extra, I am now 10 over the limit. And if I type my message is too long, it won't type. Honestly, I feel like this message is too long should probably appear above your head rather than down there, because players probably aren't looking there when they're hitting enter. Maybe it should appear in both places or something. But either way, we have to shorten this until it says 0, and then we can hit it and it will go through. This is pretty nice. This is kind of handy because it helps with, you know, obviously if your messages are too long. Oh, look, a little ghosty man. Oh, he's scared. I wonder what he's scared of. This guy said real. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's it for the changes. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this update. This is one of the bigger ones that we've had in a while, obviously, because we have a huge decoration on the map. Like, everything is a little bit different. The map is just, in general, a little bit different. Here is the feast area, by the way. It is lovely, if I do say so myself. It is just full of all kinds of food. Honestly, it is just a lovely little section of the map, in my opinion. And I'm excited to see what players do with the new items. So if you have anything that you want to show off spooky-wise, we're probably going to try to do, if we have enough time, we'll try to do a kind of like a Halloween-esque, not necessarily a contest, I guess, but just kind of reviewing some of your spooky maps or something. So if you guys have any spooky maps that you make after this video goes live, send them to me or tell me, or send screenshots of it in the Discord server, which will be linked in the description below, and you guys will be able to join that, and I'll go through and review them and stuff like that, and it could be a whole fun thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because you do wonderful things like that, not only to get access to wonderful content such as this, but just to get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.